Hello, I am Teacher Mac, and I'd like to talk to you today about Royal Enfield. Royal Enfield's been in the Philippines now for several years, but you don't really hear much about them, or at least I haven't. I've seen them out on a ride one time before and looked at the bikes about 4 years ago. But my interest was not really piqued with them at that time as I was building or restoring an old Honda Rebel 250. So recently I decided I was going to go out and upgrade my bike. And within my price range, there were not very many options. I tried a KTM Duke 390. Love the acceleration, really fast bike. However, it really wasn't my style. I like, cruising bikes. So within the cruiser bike market, or touring bike market rather, there's not many bikes available around 200,000. So I looked at the Royal Enfield and after talking with the people down at Makati, I saw it as a good option because one, I could put some of the amount on my card at 0% interest, and that right there was kind of a big point for me. So the reason I'm making this is not many people know much about Royal Enfield in the Philippine market, and the ones that do are not really, posting anything about their experiences or things about the bike in general. So I'd like to kind of go over some of these things and make it a little bit simpler for you. One, this bike is not a speedy bike. This is touring. This is relaxation. This is a nice, comfortable ride. Two, everything I've seen on videos, especially from India, is that these bikes shake a lot. That may be, if you're revving it up, yeah, it's going to shake. But if you're cruising, so far I haven't found any issues with the vibration other than when I hold a gear too long. Other than that, I find the bike quite enjoyable to ride, with one exception, and that is I'm short and the seat height is taller than me. So since it's a little bit heavy of a bike and I'm tiptoeing on it, it makes it a little bit difficult for me. Other than that, it's quite a reasonable ride. So let's go ahead and take a look at my Royal Enfield. So I chose the black, and that is actually a cream inlay on that. So when I first saw them in the books and on YouTube and such, I thought they were white. Well, they're actually cream, and to me that looks a lot better than the white. So also the front end, I kind of like the front end. It's got a nice tall front tire, which means it's going to roll over the bumps a lot easier. So let's kind of do a walk around of the bike, and that way you can kind of see what the bike sounds like and kind of look all the way around the bike. So let's go ahead and take a look. So the engine is surprisingly really quiet. I guess it's got to do with how big the exhaust pipe is. So let's kind of listen to it. Okay, so you'll notice also that there is no plastic on this bike, at least none that I've found, other than the side of the tank to protect it from scratches. It has a kickstart which can be kicked even if the battery's dead. At least that's what they told me at Makati. The people in India say that the bike will not run with a dead battery. So I hope I don't have to find out the hard way if that's true or not. The headlight The headlight is awesome. It's very bright. So driving at night is not an issue. The horns are exceptionally loud and give good, strong tone to it. Also, this bike doesn't have any of the extras like trip gauge, fuel meter, or anything of the modern experience you expect on a modern bike. It even still uses a petcock to turn your gas on and go to reserve tank. Now, one thing that I've seen or been told so far is these bikes should range between 40 and 50 kilometers per liter, which for a 350cc bike, that's pretty outrageous. Well, maybe not outrageous, but pretty good. So, so far, they gave me just a little gas in the tank when I pulled out. I have 57 kilometers on it, and I rode it about 37 kilometers, and it still had not got to reserve. I figured, I probably should put some gas in it just so that it doesn't catch me by surprise. So, along with that, some of the ride qualities that I've experienced is it does really sharp turns, as in when you're trying to go through traffic, you can kind of weave the traffic. However, it is a little bit wide of a bike, so you have to be careful of your mirrors and handlebars. Nextly, it's heavy, for somebody that's on their tippy toes, that is. So, having to be careful when you're doing that is a must, or you'll end up dropping your bike or making a mistake that you don't want to make. Now, some other things that I like about the bike is that it has a really nice disc brake up at front. I'm used to disc brakes up at front and drum brakes at the back, so this bike fits the bill. However, one thing that I am kind of disappointed about is how hard it is to pull the lever and how small the travel is before the front brake is engaged. So that is something that I really don't like. However, that being said, it has 57 kilometers on it. So maybe the pad has not wore in to the disc yet, in which case the travel should increase and it should get easier, theoretically. So we'll have to wait and see. Another thing that caught me by surprise is when I've researched this bike on the internet, the only place to really research this is YouTube. There's lots of videos and they're all written, all the write-ups are in English. However, they speak Indian, so it is a picture show and you don't understand what they're talking about in most cases. However, some of them are in English, and I've gone through a lot of videos. Most of the bikes that they're talking about, the Royal Enfields, they're points. Now, so I expected the bike to be points, and I was quite surprised when I opened up the side cover of the bike and found that it was not points. That inside the side box right here, it's actually a CDI. So coming down to look at it, you see the tools that I kind of pulled out right there. There's not much room for them. It's a tight fit. But the CDI, that blue box right there, that's your CDI. And I was quite happy to see that, because in the event that there's a problem, a CDI is a quick change, though a little bit more expensive than adjusting points or replacing points. It is something that I was hoping would be there. So I'm glad to see that. So overall, I'm quite happy with the bike, quite happy with the investment. But since I got my bike literally 6 hours, 8 hours after I got the bike, it started raining and has been raining ever since Wednesday night, and this is Saturday morning. So it's kind of wet, or really wet, depending what time you're talking about. So I haven't really got to spend much time driving, so I decided I would talk about the bike for a few minutes. So with that, I'd like to, if anybody's got questions, or if someone knows more about these bikes than I do, I'd love the opportunity of maybe bringing you here and having you here so we can talk about some of the nice things and maybe not so nice things about the Royal Enfields. Mine is the classic once again, just about like this bike right here. So this bike right here, this little bike, is a replica of the bike used in Harry Potter. You probably didn't know that the motorcycle that Hagrid rode with the sidecar that could fly was actually a Royal Enfield. And I didn't know that myself until I was doing some research. So I hope that you enjoyed the video today. And if you, like I said, if you have any questions, give me a holler. And it's been a pleasure. You have yourself a great day. And once again, I am Teacher Mac, and this has been a short Royal Enfield introduction. You have a great day. Bye-bye.